Thanks for joining us on our Bogey Boys YouTube channel.
Hello there.
Hello. Big thank you to everyone who has subscribed. If you've not yet subscribed to our channel, just click the subscription button and support the page. This is our little introduction to our weekly podcast, which we'll be bringing to the channel every week. Just give you a little heads up of what's to come. Starting with, as you know, the Birdie Bogey Bust, which we give every week. That's our views on what's being good, what's being bad, and what's being not so good in the bust. If you're familiar with the podcast, you'll know that this is something that we do every week. We have a good discussion about it. If you're not familiar with it, you can like and give us a comment and let us know what your good, bad, and ugly was for the week's golf.
Like Mark said, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Get a family members, tell your friends, spread the news. The Bogey Boys YouTube channel is going to be up and running. We're going to have a look back at the waste management. Some absolute scenes going off there, wasn't there?
Unbelievable, yeah. And as well, we'll be looking at the what happened on the DP World Tour and also what happened on the Challenge Tour this last week. The Challenge Tour started for the first one of the year, so we'll be looking back at the events that happened there. We've got a couple of podcast guests who were out there playing in South Africa.
We're going to have a little look forward to the Genesis Invitational, with there being no event on the DP World Tour this week. We'll just be solely concentrating on that.
Yeah, one of my favourites, the Genesis.
It is the birth of Tiger Woods back 30 years ago, so we can have a little look at that.
And then obviously we'll be giving our picks for the week. Anyone who's not familiar again with the picks, if you go onto our Instagram page at Bogey Boys Pod, you can find us there. Give us a follow also. That's where we post weekly on the Bogey Boys Fantasy Golf League. Welcome to join. Just sending us a DM if you want to get involved.
And it's not too late to join. People think, oh, I've missed 3 weeks. Sometimes it's a bonus. There's people sitting there with minus points. So
trust me, and I'm not too far away from those people.
Get yourself involved if you want to play. No worries.
Yeah, that'll just be 4 picks from 4 pot selections. So yeah, like Kev said, if you want to get involved, get involved. And as we've mentioned before, give us a subscribe, like and comment. Say we like interacting with everybody. So let us know your comments and what you think of the show.
Enjoy the show.
Cheers.
Shall I do a bit of news first this week? I'll go straight into Bogey. Oh,
let's do news, lad.
Do not start this again.
Welcome to the Bogey Boys podcast.
You're joined here by Kevin and Mark as always. What's been going on, brother?
Mayhem. That's what's been going on.
Mayhem?
Absolute mayhem on the golf this week, hasn't it?
Oh, I know, yeah. I thought something was wrong with you then.
No, absolute mayhem. Yeah, watching that, I'm just still struggling to get my head around what's happened, really.
Needs more.
I agree.
That's all I'm saying.
Golf's new age.
Needs more.
It has been unbelievable, hasn't it?
Oh, great.
Obviously, we'll come on to it soon when we look at the waste management. But I just thought, what a way to end the week.
Oh. Scenes
indeed. How are you, mate?
Very well, yeah. Very well. Been at a good boy this weekend. Stayed off the golf course. Done the whole spa weekend thing, didn't I?
Lovely. Yeah. How was it?
You know what I mean? I'm acting like it was for her, but like I was rubbing all the free moisturiser and that, giving myself facials and all that. Sick.
Good lad.
It's boss. No, it's great. Just got up the lakes and just had a little walk and
nice little chilled one.
Romantic thing. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I took Heidi to first ever golf lesson.
Oh, sick.
This weekend, yeah, she's joined the Tommy Fleetwood Academy.
Oh, boss.
Yeah, so she really enjoyed it, to be honest, yeah. And then I've took her.
Is that with Sophie?
Yeah, with Sophie, the PGA Pro.
Boss.
At Thornbill, yeah. She really enjoyed. She's still getting used to it, you know what I mean? She's just enjoying it. They had a few games.
What's the dance like? What's the format?
They just done a bit of putting, a few putting games to start with. So just tapping in like little 1-footers. Just watching the ball go in the hole. But it's funny because Hardy's first go, she just gets it and she just does a full swing with a putter in the indoor simulator, whacks against the wall. Then she eventually got
was it in the putting studio, like the Lee Sullivan's one?
The one at the back.
One? Oh yeah.
No, not the main studio. No, Kansky was in there. I'm not sure who he was in with, but I'm sure he was in there giving.
Say someone bossing it, Rory or something.
Yeah, Rory McIlroy was in there. Yeah. So yeah, and then they just played a few games, and then took them out onto the range, and then they've got loads of different stations set up. So they just played a point system. Obviously, you get it through cones, and you get 100 points, and then at the end,
was there that stormtrooper that I clocked there?
Yeah, that's broke now. So
Yeah,
that wouldn't stand. I think he broke it. Yeah.
3i, that defo.
Yeah. So she passed all the tests and she got herself a little sticker. She was more excited about the sticker than it now. I
No
suppose they
way.
are at that age. But
That's boss though, isn't it?
yeah, I didn't play myself. That was on daddy duties there, and then obviously Valentine's weekend, as we know, gets took up by romance, doesn't it?
Does.
Enough of that.
Yeah, so it's done now, isn't it?
It's done now. But what we did do over the weekend was we launched our first ever YouTube video.
Yeah, Bogey Boys Ball.
Bogey
Had a great
Boys Ball.
reception, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. You know, it's all
To
being
be
positive.
fair.
It's all being positive. There's always that moment where you think, "Oh, we're going to get absolutely nailed here," but everyone seems to have liked it and enjoyed it. So
yeah, I know.
we'll keep it going. We just need to get consistent with it, don't we? We've got loads planned for this year, and
it's because we're a 2-man band, isn't it? Like once we start getting a few other people involved in like the editing process, and it's like we've got lives as well, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's hard to plow full life into just editing YouTube because it is a full-time job. Like, you can see how people. It's you can see how people make careers out of it. Like
100%. It is an eye opener, isn't it?
Oh, 1,000,000%. Yeah.
But what's been good about it, getting the videos out, and obviously we've done our first interview of the year. We've just had Michael Howie on the podcast.
He was a legend, wasn't he?
Absolute legend. Yeah, we've got another guest scheduled in for tomorrow and another guest on Friday. So
thick and fast
now. Yeah, we're back at it. So all these interviews, they'll be going on our Patreon. By the end of this week. So, and then they'll be scheduled out over the coming weeks for anybody who just wants to listen for free. But if you're interested in joining Patreon and getting early access to any episode interviews that we do and any other golf videos that we do, we'll give early access there. Then you can do that. Just follow the link in our bio, or you can go on patreon.com/bogeyboyspod and support us. £4 a month it costs.
And they get access to all the other discount codes as well, don't they?
We've got an increased discount code for golfers CBD of 20%, and our costs have just increased the discount code from 10% to 15%. So that's another
bumper saving.
Yeah, another benefit of joining the Patreon site and supporting us more than anything. That's the whole point of it, isn't it?
It all gets put back in, doesn't it? So we can buy new things and do extra stuff. So
it does, yeah.
It's
more to come. Watch this space. If you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel as well, go over.
That's the big one, isn't it? Because like it's so, like obviously people putting a £4 a month in, which is great. Getting people to subscribe to YouTube, which is free, it's hard enough, and no one seems to want to do it, do they?
It is hard. I think it's just you've got to be consistent with the content. If the content's there, people will keep coming back to your channel. But while there's so much competition out there, and everyone else is throwing videos up every day, every week,
it's mad, isn't it?
Don't know whether there's a cap on how many you can subscribe to, but I don't think there is there?
No, I wouldn't say like.
If there is, remove someone. Get us.
Get rid of someone now.
Golf news then. There's been a few bits that we'll come on to when we talk about the main context of the show, but I've just seen Bryson De Chambeau. He's rubbished all the rumours, hasn't he? And said, look,
I didn't think he rubbished them, me. I thought he just more said that he hasn't said it himself yet.
Yeah, but he has come out and said that they're false.
No, he said did he say false?
He did say false, yeah.
I thought it was a bit misleading the way he done it, me.
The thing he didn't do,
like he didn't come out and say like my allegiance with the PGA Tour, like
no.
Do you know what I mean? So that
was my gripe last week, though, wasn't it? That
like they should
come out and say what they mean. But he's come out and said that things have been getting said and it's all false. I don't know whether he said all, maybe he never said all false. I haven't got the statements with me, but he basically said it's false, but he hasn't pinpointed exactly what
statements or what exactly.
So it could be that the 100 million's false. It could be that the fact that he's leaving the PGA Tour is false.
Completely inaccurate, he says.
Completely inaccurate. Does he use the word false?
I'm very disappointed to miss the Genesis Invitational this week, one of my favourite golf courses on tour. I'm currently in the process of rehabbing a hip and hand injury, which I'm making positive progress on day by day. There are many false reports going around by the media that are completely inaccurate. Any news regarding my health or playing schedule will come directly from me and my team only. This is just another inaccurate report. I look forward to getting healthy and seeing everyone soon.
See, and that is off the back of, obviously, the 100 million. He made a comment last week, didn't he, where he put lies underneath or not true or something like
that. Wrong.
There you go.
See, that's another misleading word.
wrong. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Like the
Like, it
figure's
could be
wrong.
more.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. The figure's not right.
I don't know. I
And
just
then
feel
obviously
like
news broke, didn't it? That I don't know what the source was, but news broke that he's never playing a PJ Tour event again. He's finished with it.
I
So,
come from the No Laying Up podcast.
oh, did they?
Someone said it.
All
That could
right.
be like someone coming from the Bogey Boys and me saying it. Do you know what I mean?
Like Rory McIlroy was in Kansky's buttons.
Exactly that. Exactly that, though.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, so Bryson's obviously spoke out, and yeah, he said that those rumours are not true, inaccurate.
Yeah,
I would have been gutted to see him not on the tour, especially with the Arnold Palmer Invitational coming up in, I think it's 2 weeks' time, the 3rd or the 5th of March it is, so in a couple of weeks. And no, it's nothing better last year than watching him try and drive the par 5 over the lake,
it was
was
nice,
it? So it's good that he's come out and said something. That's obviously what we need to see more of. And not just him, Colin Morikawa's come out and made some statements, hasn't he, about this Super League. There's about a date. What date are you talking about? It all seems secretive. It's not good enough or something. But this was my point last week when I spoke about it. It's everything's just, oh, we're going to do this or we're going to do that, and you've got certain players doing certain things to and personally coming out and criticizing the tour as well.
That's it.
You know, it's a slippery slope for some players.
It's weird. It's just a weird lull period at the minute where no one knows what's going on. Like the fans hear say rumors and all that. One thing I was going to ask you is Bryson in that Netflix thing?
No, he said he wasn't going to go in it. He said I'm going to give people the opportunity.
Yeah, but that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not entered the.
Yeah, but if he's not in it and he's not thinking about playing on the PGA Tour, it'd be a massive clue to him not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's.
So you heard it here first, guys.
Exclusive.
Do you know what I mean?
But he's not on the. He's doing a lot on YouTube now, isn't he? With his long driving pals, and he's constantly throwing YouTube content out there, and he loves the long drive and the distance stuff.
That's exactly what people want to see on this Netflix thing, though.
Yeah,
I think that's a slight clue that that he's getting off.
Yeah, and one of the big talking points is obviously. Appreciate that when we talk about major championships and the big events, that 4 days of golf is what's needed. That's golf. That's traditional. But like we spoke about again last week, picking up on it, is there space for a different format to be introduced to golf? And what would that be? What does it look like? And how often? Do you know what I mean? Because you don't want it to go silly where it's like this isn't even a competitive sport anymore. You still want to keep that competitiveness, but where's the balance of,
fun
and
speaking of competitive sport, what about Koepka saying golf is it's nearly a real sport or it's nearly a competitive sport? Like,
I don't know
what's he on about him.
Do you know what? I don't know what he is up to at the minute.
Like, is he trying to be like the bad boy cool guy who, like, do you know what I mean? I'm not bothered and says he's like,
yeah, because he comes out with the comment, doesn't he, about when he said, "I only get up for major championships. I can't get up for
anything that's not a major."
Anything that's not a major, yeah. And then he gets to 20th in the world or outside the top 20, and he says, "I'm embarrassed by my position." Well, if you
get up for the other tournaments,
that's where you're going to get the world ranking points up.
I know.
That's where you're going to break into the top 20 by doing it that way. So, he again, and he's saying like. What was the comment he said? This is a real sport. This looks like a real sport.
It's getting close to look like a real sport or a competitive sport, yeah.
But this is the same.
Something like that.
But this is the same guy who, when he was going down 18 and the fans ran on with the scenes of Phil Mickelson when he won the PGA Championship because he was on the losing end of that. He's saying like it was I don't know his word for word what he says, but like he wasn't happy with the fans coming in and having to try and get through. He said, I've already got an injury on my knee and stuff, and I was getting knocked around or whatever he mentioned. But
really said it's starting to look like a real sport.
Yes, exactly. So what do you want? You're saying it's a real sport when it's fun at the waste management. But
I think
when
he
fans
just does it to stay relevant,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
With his new hairstyle.
Yeah, like doing all weird things, like and the beef started down now with Bryson, and like I don't know, it's just weird one, isn't it?
It's a shame though, isn't it? Because like he could be a proper likable character.
Well,
but
them
just
two
doing the
should
wrong
really
things.
be the number 1, 2 in the world, like up there challenging. They're both beasts. They both can play.
Yeah,
both good play. Like what? Like, do you know what I mean?
And Bryson Brooks knows how to get the job done. He's won 4 majors.
Yeah.
So he knows how to win the big event. So why can't I just take that attitude into the other events? And he probably would be 2, 3, 4 in the
And
world.
then pick your schedule. Like play like Tiger used to play like X amount of events a year. Then you only have to get up for like a month at a time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Have time off.
yeah.
Like
It's there's a lot of interesting comments that are coming out from
it's
the
weird,
PGA Tour at the moment. Yeah,
it's like the worried, aren't they? Like the players don't know what's going on as well. So
I
like
think
they're
so.
trying to like,
yeah,
you know what I mean. Don't know what to do.
don't know what to do with all
One
of this.
player
Yeah.
that knows what he's doing though is Morikawa. He's just signed another multi-year deal with TaylorMade. They're not soft, are they?
Yeah, they're not soft at all. No, yeah. They want the best striker of irons in the world
Like,
to
you
use
know
their
what I
clubs.
mean?
Yeah, definitely. No, I did see that. Yeah. He's had the name. He hasn't had the best of starts of the year.
No.
Since the Ryder Cup, has he? But he's we got engaged, and now this
Yeah.
deal. So it's all looking good for him financially.
He went off the boil last time though, didn't he? And then after the major, and then popped up, and then
Well, it was the
won
Florida.
him.
It was the Florida swing when he won the WGC, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then he just kicked on from there, won the Open, and a bit in and out with an injury towards the end of the season. Didn't do too well in the FedEx, but obviously
And
turned
then
up for
won
the
in-
Ryder Cup.
And then won in Tingo as well in Dubai.
Yeah.
So then he goes quiet again. He'll pop back up, probably win the WGC in a couple of weeks or whenever it is.
Well, that's it. That's one thing you can't count out with Colin Morikawa, even though he's not been. I mean, he hasn't played awful, but he's not been competing. Like,
No, he hasn't. He has played awful because he hasn't even been in and around, has he? Really, like you haven't really seen him at anywhere near the top, have you?
what do you mean in the Dubai swing, the Middle East swing?
Just anywhere, like he hasn't had to be like. Do you know what I mean? Not,
Yeah.
You haven't seen him play, or like.
Well, he hasn't been playing this year, has he?
He's like, well, he's either not playing or he wasn't challenging when he was since he won, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
it's like once he gets back to full health, I'm sure he'll be a contender once again.
We'll see. He's in the field this week, isn't he? So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. But before we get on to what's to come this week, let's talk about last week and bring that time again.
It's that time again.
I think we both know what the birdie is. We mentioned at the beginning of the pod, didn't we? Absolute mayhem. Scenes.
Mayhem.
What was going on? Mine's the 16th hole at TPC.
It's got to be the 16th, hasn't it?
Scottsdale, yeah, it's got to be.
Like as we said at the very start of this podcast, needs more.
Needs more, yeah.
Like
it was good. It was good.
There should be one of them at every hole, at every event.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking this week at Riviera, the 10th hole would be perfect for that because it's a drivable par 4. It's where they have the playoff hole if it goes into a playoff.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be perfect to have it on that hole at the 10, and you could sort of put a bit of an arena on that one if you wanted to as well, couldn't you?
I know, it's just weird the way that's just got that iconic thing and it's just like become a thing, isn't it?
It's just this year especially, and that's obviously why it's me birdie. This year especially has been over the top good. You know what I mean? You get 2 hole-in-ones.
Oh,
you get Harry Higgs and Joel Damon taking the top off. It's like
why did that even start? By the way, that hit the Harry Higgs thing.
Why did it start?
Well, I seen Damien's tweet, or I said like, if we get more retweets on this, Harry Higgs will take his top off or something.
Oh, I didn't see that. No,
I didn't see it.
No, I didn't see
that.
Yeah,
Joel Damien like tweeted saying like, if this gets X amount of retweet or whatever retweets,
okay.
I don't know exactly what it was that he done, but he said, how do you get Harry Higgs to take it off or something?
I didn't understand the context behind it. I know on either day 1 or day 2, he held a decent putt through his putter in the air, Harry Higgs.
Yeah.
And was giving it to the crowd, wanted them to, he's a crowd pleaser, isn't he? You've seen it on his social media page. And then obviously he's held that putt for par, his top's gone up. And obviously Joel Damon's took his off, started whipping
proper
it around,
whacking it round his head, though. That's the best. I think that was unreal.
So good, wasn't it? And then obviously the hole-in-ones as well. For me, that Sam Ryder hole-in-one was the best for me.
Nah, see, I think all teases me.
Do you?
Just because, like, you're obviously Ryder's not going in expecting to hold it, is he? Like, it hasn't been one for like since when?
Yeah.
And then there's already been one, and so everyone you're thinking, the crowd are anticipating, the crowd are wanting, what's going to happen if you get it.
Oh, right.
And then he gets it. You know what I mean?
That's why the Ryder one was the one for me, because it was the first one, and obviously it was that Tiger pin. Don't know if the exact pin location, but bottom left of the green, just over the bunker.
Yeah.
And he's hit this shot, but obviously the rowdy crowd are on the back right, aren't they? In the sort of stand there. And he's hit this shot. It's landed in the middle of the green, spun left. So from that angle, they can all see it going in, and it seemed to take forever to go in, and then eventually drop, and then it was just absolute
bedlam. I was watching the crowd, and there's some woman, and she's not looking.
Oh,
she's half like turned around, and she looks like that at the end, and I was thinking, imagine you missed that.
No way.
I know.
There's a video that went round yesterday or the day before as well from Matt Wallace. I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
Matt Wallace is
Oh, you put it onto Twitter?
on the Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Matt Wallace is hitting driver on the range, and he just hits this drive, and you just hear this big, massive roar. And the caddy, it must be one of his coaches, is taking the video of his swing, turns to the crowd, and you just see bottles going everywhere, one after the other.
I've read a few reports, and it's a bit like proper dinosaur, but they're like, you know, we shouldn't be throwing beers on the golf course and all that. Like, obviously, that was I read it. Like,
do you know what?
Put that voice on.
If it was an audible, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, you know, golf's not about that. We'll see it. We won't see none of that Riviera this week.
I think. Do you know if it would have caused issues, as in like, it would have been dangerous, would have hit people, or
One hit Ortiz, like,
oh, did they
nailed him? Yeah.
What is it that they're throwing on? Is it those metal bottles? Is it?
Yeah, like the aluminum.
See, they can hit them
the
with
aluminum ones, as they say.
Ah, right, yeah. I suppose they've got to be careful of that aspect then.
Yeah.
But I think from a clear-up perspective, there was no delays.
No.
It didn't cause problems, didn't damage the green, it didn't damage anything. And I suppose it's not an unfair advantage to anybody in the field, because it's the same for everybody. And
Yeah.
it's very rare that nobody's going to enjoy that.
I can't believe Ryder or Ortiz didn't just get a beer and just nail it.
I know.
Are you allowed to do that? Drink.
JT done it in the Ryder Cup, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, that was interesting.
I had a stone cold with it, you know, just to shoot everything.
Just pick someone else's up.
Stunned me caddy.
But then JT, I don't know if you've seen his chipping.
Oh, yeah, belter.
But obviously JT's chipped in, give it the beans, like, because he's obviously had mind you, probably never had a chance at 16 that would have scored and goal, but he was on a good round.
Yeah.
And he's obviously chipped in, giving it the beans to the crowd, going off. And then, like, he just sees all the bottles coming, and he sort of, his face just completely changes, and he's like, oh, I don't know if I like that. And it sort of made me think, come on, you out of anybody, I've got to understand that that's just one hole once a year. Just enjoy it.
You've got to, haven't you?
Just enjoy it.
Like, you just catch one, don't you, or something, and just nail it.
We would.
Like, yeah, definitely, though, 1,000,000%. But it's funny, like, that you saw Harry Higgsby in the crowd, please. He was him a couple of years ago. Was it at 17 where he hit driver onto the green and rode it like a bull down.
Yeah,
the
his driver rode it like
and then
a
knocked
bull.
the putt in for the eagle.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just legendary, innit?
That's it. And he's obviously, him and Joel Damon are both on the Netflix documentary as well. So I'm hoping to God that 16th was mic'd up. Surely must have been, mustn't it?
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Oh, why is it going to be shown this season?
So they started at the AT&T, I believe. The
I see. Yeah.
So it's going to be this Masters, this Open, this. Yeah. So they've got access to all the major championships this year, the Players' Championship, and a number of events. So if they haven't involved that event, then it's a proper schoolboy era by Netflix there on the PGA Tour, because that was phenomenal to watch. But I do know what you're saying about the dinosaurs and that, but they've just obviously got to be careful that it doesn't get too much, because did you see the crowds together in at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, they're sprinting,
singing Sweet Caroline in the queue, and then 6 o'clock the gates open. They all sprint in. They're there boozing all day. You know what I mean?
So with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at the front of the queue,
leading the charge. Yeah,
yeah. But that is heavy.
I'm backing that, a stadium style part of a golf course. Par 3s are always best, or drivable par 4s, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, even if you put one at the back of.
Well, you need to see a one, don't you?
Yeah, you do need to see a one.
Like, you need to see a one.
Yeah, you do.
Like, when I went to Masters, obviously.
Oh, God.
I seen a one at 16. Can't remember who it was now. But if I did see one. No, it wasn't Tommy, no.
Tommy Daz had the hole in one on 16, though, wasn't he?
He wasn't, not when I was there.
Not there, no.
It was, I think it was Charlie Hoffman, you know.
Well, brings us nicely onto my bogey, that, actually.
I think it was Charlie Hoffman, you know, and Finau got a 2. And they played the hole in 3 between them.
Oh, my God.
I think I have to fact check that. But anyway, what my point was, we seen a 1 and it was like, wow. Woo.
Oh, because
clap.
Because it was the Masters.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, on your best behaviour.
Like, what do you mean? He was just like putting his hand up, like, as in thank you. And it's like,
whereas,
you want to see Bedlam?
Yeah, on 16, Harry Higgs makes a par, takes his top off,
do you know what I mean?
All hell breaks loose.
Like, I don't want to see someone in the water and that. If I get a hole in one, I always say I'm going in the water. Like.
I feel like this is an important time in golf, this, when you talk about what's going on with the Saudi money, when you talk about what's going on with the Asian tour, when you talk about player power and what's happening with YouTube and players being able to sell themselves now, and they're a product themselves, aren't they?
Yeah, of course.
And
yeah,
what's
the brands,
going on, their own brand. it's an important time for golf to bring golf into the modern era.
And
that brings me nicely onto my bogey.
yeah,
Because one thing that needs to change and continue to change is the rules of golf. We speak about it all the time.
right.
And obviously, me bogey and me bust is Charlie Hoffman. But first, I'll go with me bogey because I sort of agree with Charlie Hoffman's rant in an extent that, he's drove his ball into the water. He's dropped it twice. He's placed it and he's turned round. And then when he's turned back round, the ball's back in play and it's rolled back into the water.
Right. So are you agreeing
That rule's a joke?
So you think the tour am I bust?
Ah, right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, my bust is Charlie Hoffman's comments.
Reaction. Well, let's get into Charlie in a minute. Then I'll get my bogey out there, and then we can have a proper discussion.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
On the thing, my bogey is you watch that 16 and you're like buzzing, and then you wake up the next day and you like put the DP World on, and it's like listening to paint dry. I tweeted saying
listening.
I say someone messaged it, isn't it like watching paint dry? Like I know, yeah. Well, this is even boring.
Yeah,
than listening than watching paint dry.
And that's why it's such an important time for golf,
Honestly.
Because like it needs to be entertaining to watch. You need to get the crowds. They're like Everton don't win every week and they don't perform well every week, but we go to watch the match every week because we support the team. We know there's going to be some form of entertainment there, and you can go, you can have a drink, you can enjoy time with your friends and whatever, and you can sort of let loose. Whereas sometimes when you go to a golf event, I get the etiquette of golf, and you've got to be quiet when players take shots and stuff. But is there a market for some sort of funner tournaments?
It needs to be teams. It's got to be teams. Like
team events,
like imagine like. Say
because the money's there, isn't it?
We were talking about them being by the brand that whatever they go with or whatever.
Yeah.
However the team format is, and then imagine all the fans, and you had like a TaylorMade stand and a Callaway stand, and then like two players from Callaway and two players from TaylorMade were coming down, and there was like rivalries and like cheering and booing and all that. Like it'd be.
Do you know? Just thinking of that,
it'd almost feel like a real sport, wouldn't it?
Almost. But what you've got to remember as well is Formula One is so successful because you've got the players, the individual players, and the brands as a pair. What driver one, driver two. I don't know that much about Formula One, but obviously
I've got into it the last couple of years.
Same, yeah, and I've only got into it the last couple of years because I watched the Netflix series to understand it a bit more.
Yeah.
And then what's also good, you've got the Drivers' Championship, so it's Mercedes against Red Bull against Ferrari against.
Well, yeah, like the Manufacturers' Championship.
Exactly, yeah. So I totally get what you're saying. You've got a TaylorMade against the Strixon against the Callaway against
Cobra,
Wilson. The list goes on. It's just.
Do you know what I mean?
It's I think we.
And then you could have up and coming like teams like the way like you've got like I can't remember the one that Lance Stroll owns, like where these billionaires are buying racing car things and injecting money.
India. Is that
I
don't know if that's
one of them.
Yeah,
whatever it is, and then you could get these like new manufacturers, like these Japanese manufacturers, buying up like 6 players and going out and challenging the TaylorMade.
Like a
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, like a pedon, yeah. Like a pedon making clubs and just taking out everyone. Do you know what I mean?
That's the dream. No, but yeah, you're right. You turn on a DP World this weekend. There's not that many crowds about, and it's not very
not many crowd. There was like 6 people,
and it doesn't help. I know, obviously, he's not going to play worse to please the viewers, but it doesn't help when he's got a 3-4 shot lead. Ryan Fox, and the tournament's pretty much over with 3 holes to play. It's
exactly what
just get the job done.
Even like the driving par 4s are there, and like the ball's going, and it's landing, and there's no reaction, not even like a clap. It was like, why are they putting these? Like, I was looking, there's no golfers from the Middle East hardly. Do you know what I mean? That professional on the DP World Tour.
Yeah, it's fairly new scene. Like, it's gone big the last 5-10 years.
So if that book that I read, that Bounce, where they're saying that all the Korean golfers come in 10 years after that Inby Park, because then that means the influence that she had on the ladies in Korea, they put the 10,000 hours in. Remember I read that book about the 10,000 hours?
Yeah.
So 10 years on from here, 2018, we started seeing loads of Korean golfers.
Yeah.
So now maybe that the way the tours being in Dubai loads, all these young like Dubai and Middle Eastern lads put the 10,000 hours in, get to professional, and we will see a boom in 5-10 years of Middle Eastern golfers.
Yeah, but
at the moment, like you put a golf event in Hillside there, the majority of the men round here play and we'll go. And that's why the event's a success. That's why Hillside have got another tournament.
Yeah, you're going to get
you
the
put
crowds.
it in the arse end of Dubai, like no one goes there.
Yeah, it is. It's like
fuming.
But it's in a similar sense. You go to some football stadiums around the Championship, and they've got massive stadiums, and even in the Premier League, and they don't fill the stadiums because they haven't got the fan base within that city.
Exactly.
So whereas you go to a largely populated city with people who are sport mad, and you put a football team in there, and it'll sell out with tickets, with demand for tickets once it's sold out. Now, same thing. You go to a city. Like round here, we've got unbelievable golf courses that could facilitate any events. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have top amateur events, open qualifying on these tournaments. Obviously now got DP World Tour event going at Hillside. We have the major championship venues, which are there anyway. They just don't get used enough for the quality, like the quality of the greens, the quality of the cut of the grass.
I know.
And it's not always windy. You can have good quality competition on there.
Exactly, like even the way they've got the Rose series and they're bringing like the top LPGA Tour players. They should do a mini like men's version of that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And
that was Hillside and West Lancs. They got the Rose ladies.
And Birkdale had it as well.
Birkdale, yeah.
But Birkdale doesn't get really many professional events apart from the Open and that one. And what else is there?
No, there's not.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just top amateur events.
Exactly.
They have these top amateur events to play in. Yeah, no, I agree, and it goes back to what I said a little earlier. There's a change in the tides with golf at the moment, and there's a real opportunity with the way. First of all, the strength and depth you've got across all the tours, and how many unbelievable golfers there are, which is helped by technology. It's helped by more access to things online, so you can see how Bryson De Chambeau gets speed because of his videos online. You can see how top elite coaches train their players because they put the videos online.
You've got a wealth of knowledge at your fingertips, haven't you now?
Yeah, exactly. You've got audible books or just normal books that you can read. You've got podcasts, like Claude Harmon.
Yeah.
He started doing a podcast and getting real insightful with these players. We obviously do the Professional Route podcast. Hopefully people are taking good insights about what it takes to become a professional on that. So there's just so much knowledge out there, like you say, it's at your fingertips.
Exactly.
Which giving these players an opportunity. But in order for the sport to thrive, the sport needs to continue to come with the time. So again, going back to my bogey there with Charlie Hoffman, having that rule in place, it just doesn't do nothing for the sport. He's gone in the
makes people who don't know about the sport think, what?
Why is
the ball was there and it rolled and they get punished?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's you go in the water because you've hit a bad shot. You shouldn't then be penalised because you've not even dropped it bad, you've placed it. Yeah. Now that could be, they've put the drop zone in the wrong location and they should never have put it there. Or, it's just like,
well, yeah, they put the penalty area around, and like how we were saying before, like the way that it's designed, the hole, there's no place not needed the hole to drop the ball.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Once the ball comes into play, if it rolls and goes in the water, it goes in the water. It's the same as if you put your ball onto the green and the wind blow and you take your marker. If the wind blows it into the water, then it's a penalty shot. Do you know what I mean? The ball hasn't come to rest. So that's
not once you mark it.
Yeah.
I think you can replace that.
No, once you've marked it and you've removed your marker and the ball's in play.
I know, but I think even if it moves now, it's sweet.
That changed in 2019, didn't it? Good
job,
Fiori, yeah.
But if it comes to rest on the green and don't get there in time and it blows off, then you're right, and it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But just little stupid things like that. It's like, come on.
But that's another point, though. So if you've marked the ball on the green and then you pick it up and then you put it down, it goes in the water, you just put the ball back. But then if you take your penalty drop and you place it after you've dropped it twice and then it rolls in the water, you have to take a penalty shot.
Stupid.
It's just inconsistent, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's my bogey, is the fact that, Charlie Hoffman should not be double penalised for that.
No way. No one should.
I think, again, I know...
It's like double jeopardy, isn't it? Like, you shouldn't be tried for the same crime twice.
Exactly, yes. Exactly.
Like...
They made some positive changes in 2019 when they made those additional changes, but I think more needs to be done now, and they need to look at the history of the rules, when they were put in, why they were put in, and to understand what needs to be changed.
It's like the stymie got legged, didn't it? So like, you need to start changing things to go with the times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally agree.
Go with the timey.
Right, what's your bust?
It's the tour, like that rule. That is my bus. Like it's an
okay.
absolute joke.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
No.
I gripe about the rules all the time, don't I? But that is just plain ridiculous. What if it keeps happening?
Yeah. Well, this is it. You know, they're trying, because the golfers know how good they are. They're trying to rip. They're trying to make it to protect the courses, aren't they? And
Yeah.
they went through a series of tiger-proofing golf courses,
Yeah.
and now they're going through a stage of changing the grass types, changing slopes, making it more undulating, putting more water features in there. So, you know, if they're not going to change rules like that, there's a chance that happens again.
But that's what I mean. Like it's the person that should be penalised is the person that made the hazard on a slope. It's like when the greenkeeper gets like cuts a pin on a hill. It's like, see, I had a bad day today or something.
Yeah, why has he done that?
Like, what's up with him? I know it's
Like on
only
the fourth
humans
hole.
and all that sort of stuff.
Like on the fourth hole of Cleeville.
Yeah, yeah. Like every hole of Cleeville.
Okay, so my bust then is understanding why Charlie's pissed off there. Yeah. Understanding there's probably a need to go on social media and rant about it. But then he starts saying that the players aren't protected by the tour, and there's no wonder players are looking at other tours.
Yeah, I think he's probably just doing a bit of like, do you know, like when you're about to get picked in school and like there's like a little midget like jumping up and down going like, pick me, pick me. He's just trying to like get picked, did he?
He wants to be relevant.
He wants his pension.
What's interesting about his post that he done, Phil Mickelson and Bryson De Chambeau both commented on it, saying, I think
totally agree, bro.
Wholeheartedly agree, and totally agree. I agree and things. So it's obviously then, you know, when I talked about the player power and what they're trying to do to try and push the tour to make certain decisions, it's sort of like they're trying to force the tour's hand to make decisions that benefits them and the way they want it, rather than looking at it from a whole. So I think, you know, when you look at Charlie Hoffman and what you've just mentioned there, I had a little look at a few tweets that went out with different stats over the weekend. So he's only ever been ranked in the top 20 in the world once throughout his whole career. His best finish in a major is 8th, and his career earnings on the PGA Tour is 32.1 million. So you talk about not being protected by the tour and being looked after by the tour. You know, you've
had a pretty good life, hasn't he?
Yeah, in 2017 he earned 4.16 million without winning a tournament. But the thing is, when he done that post, he tagged the Saudi International Golf in the post. But he didn't even play in that event.
That's what I mean. So he's making a little bit of noise and he's trying to get ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's since deleted the post as well.
Oh, yeah. Probably
tells you everything that you need to know about that.
So
yeah. That was my bust. You know, he's I agree with him for the first part of the post, and then the second part of the post, he just made a bit of a fool of himself. Yeah. And I don't think that's the way to grow the game and improve golf.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it's
because what does that look like to other players who, you know, who've grafted on Euro Pro for 4 years and then gone on to Challenge Tour, grafted for 4 years, they're 8 years into the career and they've made no money yet.
Yeah.
Whereas he goes 1 year, doesn't win on the tour, makes 4.16 million, and he's saying, I'm not being protected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they're the future of the sport. Them same in America, you've got the Corn Ferry Tour, and when they're coming up that route, you know, people are putting the heart and soul, and that'll bring us nicely onto the waste management. Another player who put his heart and soul into golf, a new fan favourite, a new superstar, the birth of
Thigala.
Yeah.
Animal.
See what they
rips it
though.
Miles.
Yeah.
My God.
Did he get a late invitation to this?
He got a sponsor's invite, yeah.
Yeah, and then he rocked up in his couple-of-year-old Volkswagen. He said, you know, he's obviously just
seemed like a
man of the people,
nice man, didn't he? Like everything about him.
He's a man of the people.
Couldn't miss on Friday either, could he? He was like, if he missed the green, knock it in. He'd get up and down. He was just like, it was just quality to watch because I thought he was going to fade away. Do you know what I mean? Come the Saturday and all that, but held his own, didn't he?
Well, that's it. And he's such entertainment to watch because of how athletic he is through the ball like that. So he reminds me a bit of that Ashley Battier.
Yeah.
You know, when you watch Ashley Battier and the way he just rips through the golf ball, it's like it's dead entertaining to watch that with the swing speed and the way they get through
it. It's like he's ducking down into it and just he bombs it out there like 340s.
He gets it out there. Yeah, he gets it out there. He just so unlucky for it to finish the way it finished for him. You know what I mean? You play a cut down.
I had him in my picks as well.
It's bittersweet for me. Yeah, you had Brooks on him, didn't you?
Oh,
final group and neither of them won. You know, you play that hole with cut spin off the water.
Yeah,
you don't expect it to bounce left when it hits the floor. You know what I mean? You expect that to bounce right or at least bounce straight. For that to bounce left, I mean, you could play that same shot, I think, 100 times, and I think 80% of the time that doesn't go in the water.
Well, it comes down to exactly what Tom Boyes tweeted, from Up Game, saying pick your start lines are massive. If you aim at the middle of that green, there's like a X amount of chance of going in the water. If you aim slightly right, there's X amount of chance of not going in the water. So it's like playing the percentages.
Yeah.
And there's still a good chance of making birdie from aiming a little bit right.
Yeah. No, you're right. And you get starting position. Whether that was a starting position, he's maybe come over the top and it started more left than he wanted.
Maybe,
I don't know.
yeah,
but
maybe.
Ultimately, like, that shouldn't happen. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, that's got.
I know.
Yeah, that's got to go the other way, hasn't it?
Joke.
So, but I suppose like it'll be a learning. It'll be definitely a learning process for him because
even 1,000,000%.
I noticed a change in his attitude. I don't know whether it was nerves, inexperience, probably a mixture of them both. But he still had a chance to get up and down from the side of the green, and for some reason, he even said as well, he felt like the what did he say? He felt like there was something in his head about the ball potentially moving or the stance or whatever, and he rushed the shot.
Well, especially with what's happened to Hoffman in it, making a big thing about it. It's in your brain. You've just messed up on an easy hole, really.
Yeah,
and you cost
probably
yourself the tournament.
Probably felt hard done by.
Done by pressure, negative thoughts in your mind. But we want to get it over and done with.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Get the chip up.
You could even, and then even obviously he makes a bogey there. When pretty much the whole field of birdie, unless you go in the water.
Yeah.
Even eagle in it, Carlos Ortiz, didn't he? 1-2.
1-2 though.
What a couple of balls.
1, 2, 3 would have been sick, isn't it?
Yeah. And then he's even his drive down 18, it just let him affect him. He walked off with his head down.
Well, he knew he blew 18. It, hadn't he?
But he hadn't though. This is what I'm saying. He's only one back going on to 18. When look where
that'll all just come, won't it? With
Scotty Scheffler had 96 yards into that all going down 18. You got to drive off there. And you've got, if you hit a bad one, you've got 110. If you hit a good one, you've got 90. Do you know what I mean? It's like
he only had 120 himself, didn't he?
That's what I mean, yeah. But then he played a poor shot with the second shot off the rough as well. So it was just like a catapult of events that just continued to snowball.
I can vouch for them bad hours that you can have.
Yeah,
golf. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone knows that like you let one little thing get to you and you just snowball, don't you?
Yeah, it
can become catastrophic, can't it?
Definitely, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is a nightmare.
But yeah, like Cantley again though, like getting into a playoff, having another great tournament. Like he's
just like phenomenal.
He's like a robot, isn't he?
It's just like it's just not phases him. I mean, when you talk about the energy and what Thigala was showing, like Cantley's like a polar opposite, and he just like plods along, and you don't think you're like, is he even playing well?
He's the polar opposite of everyone. Remember, he was the polar opposite of Bryson in that playoff, and he's
a man to himself. But you've got to admire his talent.
Well, that's it. Well, you can see with the credentials he come through in college and his promise what he was going to be, and like the hardships that he went through with his mate dying and stuff like that. And now he's obviously got over an injury, and he's back to fulfilling what he should have been fulfilling in the start.
Yeah, it's like we're seeing the real Patrick Cantley now, isn't it?
This is the real Patrick Cantley. Please stand up.
Put Skeptica singing that.
He needs to dye his hair blonde, man.
Brilliant. No, yeah. What I was interested to look at, obviously, because every week he just seems to be up there. But I know he took quite a while off from the Ryder Cup, didn't he? He had a prolonged break after the FedEx and the Ryder Cup. So you think, he's probably going to come back a bit rusty, take a bit of time to get back into his golf. So I had a little look. He's already earned nearly $2 million in the first 4 tournaments.
He hasn't been outside the top 10, has he?
That's what I mean. He hasn't won yet. No, he's had 2 second place finishes in that, and then another top 10 finish as well in his 2 top 10 finishes. Sorry, in his first 4 events. And do you know what his average? What his total under par is in those 4 events?
Something ridiculous.
If you could have a guess, 4 events minus what?
60.
Minus 75.
Jesus.
That average.
Wonder what his handicap is.
Well, yeah, that average is minus 19 a tournament. That's what, +5, isn't it?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
But on an average on that tour.
John Rahm hasn't shot over par since the Open.
Has he not?
No. First round of the Open.
Wow. That is impressive, that.
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it?
Wow.
7 months he hasn't shot over par 4.
You think he'd won more?
I don't even think he shot level either. I think it's all been under.
Wow. That shocked me, that. You'd think he'd have won more then, wouldn't you? But I suppose
Read that somewhere, just doubting myself because he had a shocker in Tenerife.
Yeah, he definitely shot 80 in the Tenerife. Like,
maybe on the PJ Tour then.
There you go. Yeah, let's swiftly change that then.
Bottled that one there, didn't I?
Yeah.
No, I read it because I read
so
confident. It was on that flushing it. Put on his thing. You were saying, Mark 7 months today since John Rahm shot over par.
Yeah, it must be on PJ Tour because he definitely missed the cut over in Valderrama.
I had a mare, didn't he?
Valderrama, yeah, he missed the cut. Yeah, he was like 7-8 over.
Yeah.
Yeah, PJ Tour, that'll be
rubbish. That's that. That'll be PJ Tour. That definitely won't it?
But if even take Valderrama out the question, he's still playing unbelievably well, isn't he? And you would think he would have won more.
I know.
He's obviously had this COVID instance last year, which we spoke about, but just as, like we mentioned before, the strength and depth is
frightening.
And we can add one more to that list now. 25-year-old going on 45, Scotty Scheffler.
I know he does look old, doesn't he?
Looks like he's been around the block, doesn't he?
I know. He's it was a matter of time, wasn't it, before he came out the blocks with him?
I think so, yeah. Especially when you consider, obviously, I wouldn't say he come of age at the Ryder Cup, but he was.
Well, he was a pick, wasn't he? Everyone was doubting it.
Yeah.
Well, I was anyway.
You actually was, weren't you? Yeah. But no, you're right. He's broke into the world's top 10 now. He's up to 9 in the world. And if you look at how he's performed since the Ryder Cup, he was second in the Hero Challenge, second in the Houston Open. He's missed one cut this season, and in his 9 events since he started the season, he's a total of 99 under par. That averages 11 under par per tournament. And when you compare that to his whole of last season, he played 29 events last season and was a total of 169 under par, which averages 6 under per tournament. So that average is almost doubled. He's
obviously making a lot more birdies, isn't he?
Making a lot more birdies, creating a lot more opportunities. I know the courses play a factor in that because they have been gettable courses these first couple of weeks, but you've still got to go out and shoot the numbers, and he's doing it consistently, isn't it?
That's what I think Cantley does so well. He birdies all the holes you're meant to birdie, and then limits his mistakes. Like he'll birdie the par 5s or the easy par 4s.
Yeah,
he'll always have like 4 or 5, 6 birdies around, and he'll keep his mistakes are quite,
and like you say,
minimal,
the mistakes are minimal. That's a big one, yeah.
Like he never has you never see Cantley off the map, do you?
Never.
Like, no. Yeah, he's sick.
Yeah, he is a sick man.
He's a sick man.
Yeah, I like him. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be interesting. We'll come on to it a bit later, but it's gonna be interesting to see how this Riviera plays when you've got all top 10 players in the world turning up.
Yeah.
So
has Bryson outside the world top 10?
He is now, yeah. Scotty Scheffler's knocked him out, yeah.
No way.
He's injured, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He hasn't really been playing.
Shows you how quick you can get snatched away from you, can't it?
Well, exactly, yeah. Do you know what I mean? If the Ryder Cup's getting picked now, is he outsider? He is, isn't he? You know what I mean? So interesting. Waste management then. Can't wait for it next year.
I know. Well, do you know what? One more thing. Victor Hovland. Expected more from him. Crowd pleaser. Seemed nice guy.
Talk to me about him.
Was he your pick?
He was my pick.
Oh, no way, yeah.
Well and truly let me down. Never picking him again.
That's probably why he done it. He knew.
I think I put a curse on any player.
On him?
I do, yeah.
No way.
No, but you're right, though. It surprises me with Hovland, to be honest. 3 wins in 3 months there.
Yeah.
You expect more, don't you? You just expect them to turn up. But we say this about a lot of players, don't we?
You just don't expect players like that to miss cuts, do you?
No. No.
It just shows you what, like, the consistency, doesn't it, of, like, some of the boys that can do it every week.
When you look at what Cantley's doing, and what you say, John Rahm hasn't shot over par since the Open.
Since he was born.
That type of consistency. Like, there's no let up, is there? He's just constantly on the ball. Yeah. I think this will be a big challenge for him not to hit over par this week when we go on to the Genesis a bit later, because that is a tough track.
Yeah.
That tests any golfer, doesn't it? But before we do come on to that, there's we mentioned there about the Ras Al Khaimah Classic.
Yeah.
Back-to-back events on the one course. And maybe that's probably one of the reasons why, the crowds didn't turn up.
I think if there was back-to-back events and then there's no crowd, you think that the word might spread and people might you find out something's on the day before and you don't realise I would have went to that.
Yeah, but if you're talking about like that part of the world not being highly populated with golfers. I don't know whether it is or it isn't, but if you're thinking that
It's
isn't,
got like golf destinations, hasn't it? But you just don't hear of any top pros, do you?
that's what I mean. Golf
Like, can you name
destination.
one pro from the Middle East?
No, I can't. To be honest, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but like you said, there could be that factor of just it'll happen over the
No,
years.
it will.
In
I don't doubt it.
5-10 years time, we could just see a whole host of young Middle Eastern players coming through the ranks and making it into the top 50 in
Well,
the world.
yeah, 1,000,000%. Like we said, with loads of the Asian golfers are going to start coming through, or Japan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then we did see a few come through, and it will happen.
Yeah, definitely. No one had to say. We mentioned his name before. Ryan Fox goes wire to wire. He actually becomes the second player this season on the DP World Tour to go wire to wire. But the first person to do it was remember Tristan Lawrence.
Tristan Lawrence,
he played
South African fella.
Yeah, they played 2 rounds, didn't he? In the tournament, got
right. I see what you mean. Yeah,
called off. So we went wire to wire. He was leader for the first 2 rounds, but officially Ryan Fox
wire
becomes
to wire
the first. For it. Yeah. So rounds are 63, 69, 65, and 69. 5-stroke victory, 2,200 in total. So performance on it.
Even when he was miles away from the flag, he was pouring in 60, 70 footers. Like, he was up and down from everywhere. It was just
swing for show, putt for dough. Yeah,
it was quality, wasn't it? And he's a beast as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
I remember we had Paul Kinnear. Said he was in the playoff with
up
Fox.
in Scotland. Yeah, at Gales, wasn't it? Glasgow Gales. Yeah, they played, and it was in Ryan Fox and another player. I can't remember
Rhys
the name.
Davis.
Yeah, Rhys Davis. Yeah, and he beat them both.
He beat them both, which is sick,
to get into the Open. Yeah, some boy.
And I've beat Paul, so
this is your year, Kevin. Just need to get back down to scratch now.
Honestly,
going up the wrong way. 300,000 euros for that. Gets him in the top 10 in the race to Dubai rankings. 300,000. What are you thinking about that? And it's a healthy sum of money, but at the end of the day, 300k for a win on tour.
Yeah, it's a big challenge tour event, isn't it? Right? Like, it's not like a heavy. Needs more like.
You say this every week, though, don't you? This is a glorified challenge tour event.
Well, that's it.
You know what I mean? When you think of lads who come up from the challenge tour and play on the European tour, that's a hell of a lot of money. But when you compare it to what's getting won on the PGA tour, you know what I mean? It's
on offer at the new ones.
Yeah, well, that's Thigala. He won just under $500,000
for the
tied third this week. So,
it just shows you. There you go.
I know, obviously, that's one of the big events on the tour. Well, to be honest, it never used to be, but it's probably only got bigger now because of obviously the scenes and things. But he missed the cut last week, Ryan Fox.
I know. It's what. Do you know what? I remember Duncan McCarthy talking about this. He's like, when you've got 2 events in the same place, the same same sort of venue. Sorry. And you're like, with COVID, they were staying on campus, weren't they? So they had 2 events in Cyprus and 2 events here. He's like, you can really get stuck in a bad mindset. If you play well, you'd expect to play well. If you play bad, then you can come out swinging the next week. So it actually doesn't surprise you that he's someone that's missed the cut has come out and won, because that's the way that Duncan was saying that he can get the
shackles it off. Yeah, can't get any worse.
I think they got extra couple of days to just practice and regroup. Whereas if you're going straight in, like you play until Sunday, then you've done well. Then Monday you're having a chill. You're only really playing like Tuesday, Pro-Am or something, Wednesday. You know what I mean? Them 2 extra days of even just 2 extra days of relaxing and just switching off from golf.
Not having to get a flight to another place. And you just literally just
ready to hit it.
Yeah, and you're sort of getting a feel for what the green's doing anyway. Maybe that's why he's had such a good performance. You can
watch the weekend like without going home in a sulk, because you've got next week coming.
Yeah.
Pay more attention to it instead of thinking, I'm going to play this next year. Let's watch how they play it.
No, it's a good shout there. I remember Doug saying that. Yeah, no, it's a great point. Yeah. I know we're not doing a quiz this week, but a little question for you. Do you know who the last player from New Zealand was to go wire to wire on the DP World Tour?
Not your mate Danny Lee, is it?
No.
The Australian.
No, what a bad shout that was.
I'm out of New Zealand golfers, me.
Michael Campbell. Yeah.
That just comes to my mind there.
Yeah, in 1999. The event took place in 1999, but it was the 2020 Johnny Walker Classic. Good start for the season for Conor Winstanley, our friend on the bag of Adam Wilson.
Brilliant.
Yeah, they had tied 33. Tied 33. How'd you say that?
T33, innit?
Oh, God. Sorry. T33. Do you know how much you earn for that?
65 quid.
£12,250. Well,
Size.
euro. Yeah, I think that's good.
So what does Connor get? 1,200 quid?
I've no idea how it works now, whether you get 10% for that. And then one of the points I wanted to make was, before we moved away from the two main tours, what's Tommy up to?
As in,
Fleetwood?
no,
He's
I'm
not in
not
the
saying which Tommy. I'm saying like what I was in. What's he up to? Is in what?
like what's the schedule doing this? Because he didn't
I don't
play.
know. I've
He
seen
hasn't.
Finno bobbing around the village a few times, so he's obviously not in a rush to get anywhere. Like so.
I'm just thinking, obviously, what is it? Because I don't know what his status is this year on the PG Tour because of
Well,
where he
maybe
finished.
because the Qatar Masters was meant to be in it. That's quite a big one. So maybe he's just having a couple of weeks off to regroup.
Maybe, yeah,
Bit of practice.
maybe, yeah. Just
Maybe
haven't
we can
taken.
collar him for that podcast while he's
Maybe ask him again.
cheeky bastard.
Let's get him on. And we can ask him.
I'm
about
going to
his
withdraw
schedule.
my daughter from your academy if you don't come on our podcast. So you've promised us now.
Yeah. So obviously he's not played PGA Tour last week.
He's not playing this week either.
And he's not playing this week.
Oh, he's
no.
got, yeah, wouldn't have his thing, would he? He's not. I was outside the world top 25 only last year. So
Well, that's what I was thinking, but he surely must have a category on there though. He hasn't.
maybe
got
they
full playing
invited him
rights.
and he said no.
Maybe it
And
is
then
an
he moved down
invitation.
the
Yeah.
list. I had to look at the invitation. We'll come on to it in the Genesis, but the list of people that have been invited, it's like I think Tommy would stand ahead of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Maybe just made a decision to just take some time at home
Maybe, yeah.
over this period. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Get revved up, go and see his coach, hit a few balls, get putting lesson, and
Get on the Bogey Boys podcast.
yeah, get him then get back at it. We can
There
give him
you
the Bogey Boys blessing, can't we?
He needs to come
I'm
on.
going to tell him about that.
He will definitely win. Tell him about that. That can be our market.
Hey, sorry, but before we move on from the DP, speaking of balls moving and penalties, Ross Fisher's ball moved.
Interesting.
So
very interesting.
What happened? Why isn't that sort of the same sort of thing?
They said that it never impeded it. The swing that he done never impeded the ball moving.
Yeah,
but he's took a swing.
Neither did Hoffman's.
Definitely
you know
right.
I mean?
You've nailed that. Well, basically, yeah, but then he played it from where it lied. Hoffman couldn't play it from the water because he had to take another drop. But that was the difference. So,
see where he played. What he done when he played it? Knifed it over the green.
Yeah. So context there for anyone who's not seen it. Ross Fisher was on the edge of a downslope in a bunker, and then took a couple of practice swipes about 3 feet from the ball. But he was hitting the grass as he was doing it, and then he sort of had a little look over the lip of the bunker, and then when he looked back, the ball had rolled, hadn't it, into the bunker. So he didn't get a shot penalty because it was deemed that the strokes that he'd done didn't cause the ball to move.
Yeah.
So it's controversial, really, because I know it didn't determine anything in the way of who won, but it may have determined his position from coming second or third.
How it might have determined who won? Ryan Fox on the tee there, waiting to go for the green, and the rules official, and how long it took to get it all thingoed. Like, they should have played them up.
Yeah.
Like, it was slow on it out there. Like,
Yeah.
I seen a few people talking about it when they were long round, 5.5 hours and all that.
See, that doesn't help.
In 3 balls.
That does not help. Doesn't help from spectator point of view because the space in between shots. So, you're watching.
Well, lucky there's no spectators.
Fantastic, yeah. No, but you're right. I think it's difficult for the tour at the minute, isn't it? Because what happened with COVID for the last couple of years and the state that the tour's in at the minute.
The travel and all that.
Yeah, the travel restrictions and what's going on. But whereas in America,
they need to throw a free ale tourney on. I think.
Yeah,
just get everyone lumped.
That'd work.
That shows you get, if you don't get an atmosphere, you'll get some scenes.
Definitely, yeah.
You know what I mean?
You only have to look at the playoffs and the race of the FedEx. Call it race of the FedEx now because that's our fancy game. The FedEx Championships, when obviously they were getting rowdy in the playoff and people were giving Bryson shit when he was in the playoff with Patrick Cantley.
Yeah,
the ale does infuse people and make them
of course,
have a right go. And you have to look at your antics.
Yeah.
Yeah, but interesting. I just wanted to mention that about Tommy. Just
yeah, well, it's got to be a time off thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's just interesting, really. Anyway, it was the start of the Challenge Tour.
Yeah.
Before we move on to looking at the Genesis,
I didn't see any of it. Seen the German guy won, didn't he? He was
Alex Knapp, yeah, he won in the end by one shot over the hometown favourite Dean Burminster. So it's quite a scalp, isn't it? You know, a lot of players decided to play that could have played in the Ras Al Khawawi. They could have played to play Challenge Tour instead. Quite a few
Ewan
names.
and
Well, yeah, just people who had category. Richard Mansell. Pretty sure he could have played.
yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I don't understand that.
Yeah, maybe they just want to get a better category and do what Ewan did. Do you know what I mean? Play the
Maybe,
tournament.
yeah.
And obviously, using Rich as an example, we had three of our lads who we've had on the podcast play: Tom Gandy, Matthew Baldwin, and Richard Mansell. And Mansell finished one shot ahead of Baldwin at 11 under par, and he finished 19th for the tournament. So it was a decent enough start. He just had a poor final day. I think he shot 74 or 75 in the last round.
It's not what you want,
He was actually in the top 10, I think 6th or 7th going into the final day. As I mentioned there, Baldwin one shot further back, finished just outside the top 20. And Gandy had an unbelievable bogey 365 on the Friday, but a disappointing weekend, and he finished 60th in the end.
Yeah, golf's it's a tough sport, man. Like I just mentioned you in there. He actually, I thought he played challenge. He played DP, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he shot 10 over, come like basically dead last.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can they got so much talent? It's obviously it's in there, isn't he? He hasn't forgot how to play golf, but
yeah,
it's
you've sort of got to give him the benefit of the doubt because he had COVID, and you don't know how that's
of course, yeah.
You don't know
what's
that's
going
impacted.
on, do you? Yeah.
You don't know how that's impacted his ability to practice.
But it's just mad, like you probably come out this week, and
yeah,
you know what I mean? Come out the gates flying. It's like you forget about last week, don't you? Then and you're off and running again.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. We'll talk about this week then. There's no DP World event, but there is a second event on the Challenge Tour.
Yeah.
And the scenes at this place just look unbelievable. It's called the Baines Whiskey Cape Town Open. It's played across 2 golf courses for the first 2 days. Now the final 2 rounds are played at the Royal Cape Golf Club.
A lot of that, like multi-golf course tournaments going on, isn't there? Like they do a Pebble, they do it at the Dunhill.
Yeah.
They do it at this one.
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I think it's good, right? I think it's good. It depends on weather conditions, but it's the same as, like, you know, you can play an Open Championship on the same course and you can get a calm day in the morning, day one, and in the afternoon, day two. So you can have 2 totally different golf courses on the same course, really. So I think I like it in a sense that, you know, you get to see golfers being challenged on different courses, and then ultimately the championships decide on the same course in traditional golf. I think making little changes like that and adapt the same to the way you want to bring team events into the sport, I think it's really good.
Want it, just a suggestion. Like,
no, you want it.
No, I want it. Yeah, I'll flip if it doesn't happen.
But yeah, the Royal Cape Golf Club, it only measures 6,633 yards.
Little plodder.
Par 72, and then the Rondas Bosch Golf Club is the other course. Rondas Bosch. That's another short course. And measures that's a par 72. So, bit of news on the Royal Cape golf course. It's the oldest golf course in South Africa. It was established in 1885, so it's a historic one. And the venue sits, if you look at the pictures, in the shadow of the Table Mountain. Have you heard of the Table Mountain before?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Remember,
no, because the reason I said that is because we spoke about it last year on the podcast.
Did we?
We spoke about this mountain, yeah.
Oh, did we? Yeah. Well, just to repeat what we spoke about last week.
I just know that's all I remember, because remember Tabletop Mountain.
There's no top in there, no, but there's Table Mountain.
No, me and the locals call it Tabletop.
It's one of the new 7 wonders of nature. The iconic mountain features a flat plateau which welcomes 4.2 million visitors per year, with tourists making the trip to the summit either via the cableway or the more adventurous hiking.
Yeah. Tabletop Mountain.
Tabletop Mountain.
Sounds exactly like it.
There we go. Yeah, but with the course in itself, obviously looking at the pictures, I've not actually seen it played before. But plenty of water and trees to contest with, but obviously the yardage that you would expect, some low scoring conditions, because I imagine it's going to be perfect conditions over there. It's also an opportunity.
Is that one of them co-sanctioned ones with the sunshine? Will be, won't it?
Potentially, yeah. It's a packed field of South Africans, and it is in South Africa, so you would imagine.
Remember the Challenge Tour on the Alliance with the sunshine? They said they were going to have more events and put more money in, so it's got to be on it.
This has got it,
surely
to God.
If it's not, it needs to be.
This is an opportunity, a great opportunity, actually, for us to see the Challenge Tour because there's no
Because there's
DP
no
World.
thing, yeah.
So I hope that they use this as an opportunity to showcase this event because the pictures itself is worth putting it on.
Well, yeah, and it's not like it's just got cancelled, is it? Like they know they've had time to get over there and get the cameras and.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they should definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, the Challenge Tour have got their own camera set anyway because the Challenge Tour highlights on every year.
No, I mean for like Sky Sports to broadcast it all live and get them over there. Do you know what I mean?
If they're struggling, we'll broadcast it live, no
Well,
problem.
yeah,
If they want us to
yeah.
tune in, and we'll send us a link and we'll broadcast, no problem.
And I mean, like get over there, like be talking about it.
Yeah, we'll get over there.
Oh, we'll get over there. Yeah. See if Connor's got room in his suitcase. Is he going? Is he over there?
He won't be playing
No.
there. No. Gandhi, Mansell, Baldwin, and Slattery.
Oh, Slats.
He's gone over, yeah, to play.
Nice.
So they're all in the field this week. So again, last week it was in South Africa. This week it's in South Africa. So you imagine the same people who played last week will play this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, then moving on to the only tournament that we've got to review this week, the Genesis Invitational.
Yeah, hosted by our man Tiger.
He's back, baby.
Well, this was where he was actually birthed.
Well, this is also a year on from where the incident started with the crash. Remember, he was doing a.
Oh, he was going to win it. Oh yeah.
I remember he was in the booth
looking wellied.
Yeah, his eyes a bit droopy, and then a couple of days later, he's
crashed the car,
involved in the crash. Yeah, so it's a year on almost since the day that we all feared he'd never play again. And obviously, we got to see him at the PNC, didn't we? But
30 years on since he hit his first ever tee shot on the PGA Tour, the 1992 Nissan Open, used to be formerly the LA Open.
Yeah.
So 30 years, 82 wins since that.
Did he actually play on the tour in 1992?
92, yeah.
As an amateur, yeah.
Yeah. He played that. He was a kid. He was meant to be in school. He tried to get in 91. And he was like, he said he missed the cut. He shot one over first round, like with one birdie and two bogeys. Solid day.
Round that course,
Birdie the first.
Did he?
Yeah.
Lovely par five.
But then he said, literally, I can make it in junior golf at the minute, but I'm not good enough to compete with these guys. These guys are much better. I need to go and improve.
And honest assessment is like an 11-year-old.
You know what I mean? And he was out there. There's actually a few quotes from him. It's on the PGA Tour website. You should have a little read of it.
I'll have a look, yeah.
Talking about like, he's like, I was skinny and I was scrawny, but I was like, I had some serious body movement there. Like, I wish I could still do that and all that. Like, it's good. It's a good read.
Yeah, that's what he's always been known for that. And he's just whipping it through the ball. I think that's why. So when you see these type of players like Thigala and Ashley Battier, although they're not Tiger Woods, the way they get through the ball,
yeah, it's aggressive, isn't it?
It's so aggressive. Yeah, that's what you like about him. With DJ in his prime, so aggressive through the ball. And you know what I mean? Rory when he used to get at it, and that's why Bryson's such a player that you want.
Anyone that just whacks it looks looks good for the cameras, innit? Do you know what I mean?
But exactly. But as I mentioned there, top 10 players in the world are all out there at the Riviera. So this is a proper test of golf. This, a proper test of golf
against everyone that you'd want to go up against, really. And if you win, you've beat everyone that you need to, really.
Well, that's it. Yeah, if you win this event, this is as close to a major as you'll get field wise, with them all being there and all ready to go, and especially when you consider the form that the top 10 in the world are at the moment.
Exactly.
And how they're playing. Yeah. So
exactly.
We remember last year, we all thought Finau was going to break the duck, didn't we? And get that win, especially in the
playoff. We put that picture of Finau like a skeleton saying, waiting for Finau to win or something. That's funny, that, isn't it?
It's great because we're in our second round, all the little memories.
You remember what we done,
yeah, definitely. But yeah, when Homer hit that one behind the tree, wasn't it?
Oh, we thought you think it's game over?
I think it's game over, yeah. Because you know what? It's actually similar to what happened on the last week with Scotty Scheffler, the Waste Management. He sticks it close and misses a easy putt to get the win.
Yeah.
Max Homer didn't he? And then obviously he takes it to the playoff and eventually wins on the second playoff hole. But hopefully we get to see as much entertainment as we did last time. The best hole to watch, I mentioned it earlier, the 10th hole, drivable par 4, a bit of a risk reward. You got all the bunkers across the front. But it's just a tough track, isn't it?
It is. It is. But as you say in there about the Challenge Tour being 6,300 and something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, this is 7,322 yards, par 71. So it's a beast, isn't it?
And then you add to that So what makes this course so difficult is the Kakua grass.
Right.
So it's grass that, for anyone who's not familiar with it, there's different types of
Me.
grass. Yeah, there's different types of grass depending on obviously the weather conditions in the so you know when you go on holiday to Portugal and
Like
the
the
grass is
Bermuda and the different
the
type.
Bermuda,
Yeah.
different type of grass. So this grass, the reason it's so difficult is that it's when it doesn't bounce when the ball lands, it just sticks.
Ah, yeah.
So you can't play chip and runs out the fringe. You've got to land the ball onto the green. So obviously, then then
You be fucked.
I would be fucked. You'd be fucked. I'll be all right. I was wondering where I was going.
I know. I didn't think you were going to bite at that then.
So yeah, again, obviously, it's not what makes it so difficult. Then is like it's not just the shot execution; it's the shot selection.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So what you'll see is like even if you go into the rough, if the ball sits on top of this grass, it'll be like hitting it off a tee. You get like a flyer lie though, so you can always knock it long or under club, and then if you do catch it a bit short, it lands short. It's not going to pop on to the green because
Yeah.
of the grass. And then you're stuck. It's a
You
real
have to be a lot more precise.
it's a monopoly. Yeah, you're always
Yeah.
it's a constant thought process, and that's why you see. I think last year 12 under won it. Tied third was like tied fifth was like 7 under.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Players do not go low on
That's
this.
what I mean. Then the PJ Tour talks about trying to make everything harder and like the course is doing that. And then sometimes people watch this and it's like, oh, it's too hard. We don't tune in to watch people make bogeys. It's like,
yeah,
ugh.
yeah. No, but
You know what I mean?
yeah, no, yeah. I think there's definitely space on the tour for these type of events.
Yeah.
Where you've constantly got to think your way around the golf course and what's the best place to miss. Because if you're missing the wrong place and you leave yourself short sighted out of that rough, because I mentioned there about the rough, it can sit on top, but if it goes down and buries, it's like hitting out the heather on the
Yes,
links
I
course, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it could just because the roots are so thick, just so easy for the club to get turned over. So you'll see how hard they swing at it throughout these 4 days when they go into the rough to try and get that ball on the right line. So again, most important thing for this event is at your fairways and at your greens,
That's
more so than any other event.
yeah.
Yeah, because you can't either that or you're gonna have to really rely on your short game. Because one thing's for sure on this course, pars are good.
Pars are good. Pars are good everywhere.
Pars are your
aren't they?
best friend.
There's another introduction for an APGA tour player. You know the one that we always talk about. The
Yeah,
tour
yeah.
that Camus plays on.
Yeah,
Aaron Beverly. He won the 2022 Charlie Sifford Memorial exemption.
Okay.
And he won the tour's fall series finale at Wilshire Country Club.
Okay.
So he gets in more chance to sponsors invites or like, you know what happened with the last sponsors invite last week. So
yeah,
good to keep an eye out for him.
Definitely keep an eye out for him. Yeah, see how he gets on.
But I was talking before about Tommy not getting a sponsor's invite or whatever, and you've got like Ben Zaden out, Ricky Fowler, Minwoo Lee, Robert McIntyre, Thomas Peters. Like I know they are big names, but you think of Fleetwood.
Oh, I think if they could have got Fleetwood over, he's part of Team TaylorMade.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
I don't think he's not being
I
invited.
suppose they've all won, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? Like apart from McIntyre.
McIntyre hasn't. Thomas Peters has won this year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
On the DP World.
Minwoo Lee won last year. Like
he won the Scottish Open, didn't he? Minwoo Lee, yeah.
Fowler's clinging onto his card, and he still.
He needs some work.
But yeah, I just thought, I don't know, just seeing the invite and thought maybe Tommy's been offered or maybe he hasn't.
Yeah, maybe he's just decided he just wants to stay at home for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he's sick of traveling, and maybe this change will do him good. But I think he still needs to be playing competitive golf, so it'll be interesting to see when he gets back out there.
Yeah, definitely, 1,000,000%.
It is a return for Colin Morikawa and Rory McIlroy, though.
Yeah.
This calendar year, this is the first time that they're going to be playing on American soil. The last time them two went at it was at the CJ Cup one in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Rory actually won last time he played in America, so.
You expecting big things?
No, I'm not.
No.
I think when you consider he's definitely got the strength around there to challenge, but I just think he hits too many loose shots at the minute, and too many loose shots there, too many bogeys. It's gonna your round can be over before it started. So
of course, yeah.
No, I don't fancy Rory this week, to be honest.
Who do you fancy then?
Should we do picks?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's do picks. So, just to reiterate, I had a shocker last week, but I'm still gonna go with my tactical choices.
Right.
bit of research, and then pick someone who I think is going to perform well. And if they don't, so be it. So Colin Morikawa, I've gone for.
Yeah.
When you talk about it in fairways and greens, I know he hasn't had the best form when he's played so far, but I just think, he'll be on a high off the back of his extended deal with TaylorMade, won't he?
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah, he tees it up. You can't write him off. You know what I mean?
he's
Like,
world
I
number
was
2, isn't he? Is he number
like,
2 or 3 now?
I think he's 2, isn't he?
Still
Hovland
2.
3.
Yeah, Hovland 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So world number 2. That's who I've gone for. What about you?
I've gone for Cantley.
Have you? Yeah.
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 I just think the form that he's in.
It's going to be more difficult for him to lose than win, I think.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, he's good for a made cut, isn't he?
Get your solid little 5-6 points in there, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and move on. Yeah, pot 2, I've gone Seamus Power.
Interesting.
Just on the form guide alone, he's played well, and I think again similar to Rory, he has got a few wild shots on him, but just the way he's built and the strength in him, I think he can not overpower this course, but he can definitely do the bomb and gouge that we spoke about so
Well,
much.
speaking of strength and power, I've gone for my man Thigala again.
Have you?
Yeah,
Backing him to the tilt.
of course. Like,
Yeah,
he was just special. It was just boss to watch him last week, and he didn't seem, apart from that 17th, he didn't seem like overly bothered by anything.
Yeah.
And he was a beast.
That was what surprised me, really, because he was so chilled and laid back. And I think that's why he appealed to the fans so much because of that. And then obviously just let it get to him on 17.
Yeah,
but
no.
I suppose there's a lot rather than that. You win that, you've got your couple of year exemptions, you've got a couple of
Yeah.
million quid in the bank. You're set for life, aren't you, if you
That's
get that
it.
win? Pot 3, I've gone for Mito Pereira.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chilean.
Yeah, I just think I've been a fan of him since he made that progression last year from the Corn Ferry. He had 3 wins.
You do like him, don't you?
Yeah. 3 wins on the Corn Ferry Tour. Automatically graduates the PGA Tour. Then he goes to the Olympics, doesn't he? Nearly gets a bronze medal. I just think he's on the verge of. I think he's definitely going to be a multiple PGA Tour winner.
Yeah.
Over the years. I just think this is maybe the tournament for him to kickstart his career.
It could be, yeah. I'm going for my man with the
Joel Damon.
Joel Damon, yeah.
Just because he's a legend.
Just a legend, did he?
Did you see what he done after he'd finished?
No.
He's invited. He sent an invitation out to Rory McIlroy to be his partner at the Zurich.
Actually, yeah.
Just waiting for Rory to respond. He's put it all out on the social medias, yeah.
So hopefully they can have a little link up at the tournament this weekend, chat about it.
See what happens, yeah. David Lipsky, pot 4 I've gone for. Just because I backed him as a pot 2 last time, and he was challenging after a couple of rounds. Seems to be playing well. Whether he'll be able to perform well on this course, I don't know, because it is a tricky one, but I fancy him to at least make the cut.
I've gone for my man with the top off again, Harry Higgs.
He's going for the legends.
I've just gone for all the legends from this week, really.
They were all your men then.
What?
They were all your men then.
What do you mean?
I'm going for my man Thigala. I'm going for my man Joel Damien. I'm going for my man Harry
my
Higgs.
Man, because
why isn't Cantley your man?
I didn't like him last week. I haven't spoke about him in a positive way last week.
Okay,
but yeah, it's just me, man. The boys, aren't they?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, now you've got to.
You feel like you know them other three. Cantley's a bit.
I feel like that's a decent wolf pack. That
he's a tough nut to crack, Cantley, isn't he?
He is.
He's the one who go missing. He's the Doug.
Yeah, he didn't want to go out in the first place.
Yeah, that is a good wolf pack. That
is a good wolf pack. Yeah, mine's a mixed bag, but let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Looking forward to watching it. Yeah. Hopefully they do show a bit of the challenge tour. I'm not sure whether they will, but we'll try and catch up with some of that. So
when we say things, it happens, doesn't it? So that's what's going to happen.
You are right. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, there, if you do want to support the podcast, say £4 a month, it'll be greatly appreciated. We've got a lot that we're working on at the moment that will obviously it'll give you more benefits on that site, including enhanced discount codes, and obviously we're working with Matt Branton, 3D Golf Strong. We're going to be putting some fitness tutorial videos on there, and we're also working with a number of PGA professionals to try and get some tutorial videos. And what we're also going to do as well, we've spoken to PGA professional David Goscombe, our friend, and we're going to record our coaching session. So when me and Kevin get a lesson, Dave's going to talk through on the video, obviously what that lesson entails and what we're doing and why we're improving. And then we're going to upload them exclusively to Patreon as well. So if anyone's interested to see our improvements, you can have a look and see
Or
how we're
lack
getting
of.
on. Or lack of, yeah. Probably the latter.
Yeah.
Big year coming up. I hope
It
you're
is.
enjoying the shows as well.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's good to be back, isn't
Yeah,
it? But
in the swing of things now, aren't we?
That's it. We're back at it now. Yeah, a couple of interviews coming up.
Yeah.
As I say, send some comments in, send some questions, and if you want any questions answered on the pod. And until next week, we'll see you soon.
Ciao.